Welcome to Bad Dice, the UK's first Warhammer Fantasy Battle podcast. We bring you news, reviews and updates from all around the UK tournament scene. Your hosts are Ben Curry and Ben Johnson. We hope you enjoy the show, and if you do, be sure to let us know. You can contact us on thebens@baddice.co.uk or leave a positive review on iTunes. Welcome to episode 54 of the Bad Dice podcast. I'm your host, Ben Curry.
And I'm Ben Johnson.
And we've just come back from the Masters. We've got the Sheffield Slaughter this coming weekend, so plenty of events going on at the moment. Pretty exciting times, eh?
It is, and I've got no painting to do. It's brilliant.
Yeah, I've got loads to do, which isn't brilliant. So before we get into all the details about the events and whatnot we've been doing recently, quick rundown of our sponsors. So first up, we've got Odd Games. Odd Games are an online store. Been speaking to Ollie from Odd Games this morning, and he wants to let everyone know about a special offer they've got on. They're doing 15% off anyone who pre-orders the new Fantasy Flight board game. It's Mansions Madness, and that's released on the 1st of Feb. It's basically the new hotness out of Fantasy Flight games. Yeah, 15% off on all pre-orders.
It's not bad, is it?
No, it's not bad at all. So check them out, oddgames.co.uk. Next up, we've got Rankins HQ. I want to give a big shout-out to Andrew from Rankins HQ.
Yeah.
Came to the Masters, did all the data entry for us.
Did all the hard work for us, didn't he?
Yeah, and did a load of recording, a load of coverage from the event as well. That should be up on the latest episode of Rankins HQ, which hopefully will be out this week.
Yeah. Also bought us pizza, which is always good.
Yeah, it's always good. Anyone who buys us food, definitely high in our opinion.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, check them out. That's rankinshq.com. Okay, next up, Battle Foam. So we've both had a new pair of cases. For anyone that don't know what Battle Foam is, they make foam for your battles. It's basically battlefoam.com. Check them out. They make all sorts of different shapes and sizes of bags with custom foam, loads of pre-cut designs and things like that. How's yours going? A couple of weeks you've had it for now?
Absolutely grand.
I've got a problem with mine. It weighs an absolute ton because I can't help but put all my stuff in it.
Well, yeah, and mine's a bit weighty. I've got a lot of metal models in my Skaven army, so it's a bit weighty.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's.
Well, I had all my Dark Elves in mine, and it did hold them all, so I felt the need to carry them around everywhere. So I've took them out and put back on the shelf now.
Egypt.
Okay, so that's Battle Foam. Check them out. We got the 720s. You can listen to episode 53 for like a detailed review of them. Next up, back to basics. So plenty of people have been asking, just like on the forums recently, where can they get decent movement trays from? Back to basics. We've already talked about this in a previous episode.
Yep.
They sent us out a sample pack, and there's some of the best
Which
stuff
we were really
seen.
impressed with, weren't we?
Yeah, depending on what you want. I mean, obviously some people want bigger movement trays with more space around the edges. But these ones are quite similar to the Games Workshop ones in design, aren't they? Once they finish.
Yeah, once they're finished,
with a slimline lid, but all magnets and all sorts of stuff on them. And they do scenic bases as well, don't they?
Yes, resin ones.
All types of resin, different types of desert and planking and cobbles and all sorts of stuff. Check them out. It's back to base-ix.com. And last but not least, we've got Unseen Lurker magazine.
Yeah.
The boys have been hard at work, working towards releasing issue 7 just after Christmas. I've been speaking to Bobo today. He's been emailing me questions about the Masters, which has just gone by. So no doubt there'll be a Masters review in the next issue.
Good.
So I'm looking forward to that. So that's unseenlurker.com. If you want to check out previous issues, you can go on the website and download about, I think, a quarter of each magazine is up for grabs on the website. Just like the first paragraph or two of each article in the mag, so you can have a quick browse online before buying it.
I also noticed a lot of them on eBay.
A lot of unseen lurkers, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I've not noticed.
For various prices.
Are they going well?
Well, some are on like 99p, others are like buy it now for a tenner.
Who's selling them?
Random people? Random, yeah.
You look at some junk on eBay while you're out of work.
I've been out of work, so you know what I mean.
Okay, so moving swiftly on, while you've been out of work doing nothing, what have you been doing in the last fortnight in fantasy?
Well, while I've been off work, I painted a Skaven army.
Yeah.
That was quite good.
So how's your Skaven been received It was on the blog, wasn't it? On the GW
It was on the
blog.
Games Workshop blog, yeah. The Friday before the Masters, which was, the 6th?
Yep.
Is that right? No, it
Something
can't
like
be.
that. Yeah.
No, it was 24th today. It was only...
Oh, no, it'd have been the 14th.
14th, so it was
So
on the
14th.
blog there, so if you fancy going back on there, checking that out. I've also put some photos on the Warhammer forum as well.
Okay, and we'll stick a link to the blog in the latest show notes
Yep.
for this episode.
Yeah. Dan on there did a nice write-up for me. I was quite
Did you
chuffed.
write any of it?
Oh, yeah, well, we had a chat. We spoke for about 20 minutes, half an hour while my tea was getting cold,
And then he typed up your yeah.
basically. Made sense of my ramblings.
Yeah.
But no,
Not many can.
I think
you
it's
have
come
the
out.
power.
I think it's come out really well, actually. I think the photos, because he was a bit worried about taking photos in Warhammer World.
Yeah, because of the light.
Because of the light, yeah, but I think it's come out great.
Yeah, I thought they looked good.
And then that was on the Tuesday that I spoke to Dan. And then Thursday afternoon, I got a parcel from GW with my Abomination, Ikit Claw, and a Doomflayer, and I painted it all for Friday lunchtime.
So talk to us about these models then. What are they like?
The Abomination's amazing.
Is it really?
Yeah. The way it goes together is just fantastic. It's a joy to put together. I've noticed a lot of people have said that on the internet as well. And it looks good too.
I might have to get one just to assemble and have a play with and see how I get on with it.
I was really impressed with it. We've got some good ideas for having put one together. Because obviously I was on quite a tight time schedule with that one. I want to do another one, but I want to move it about a bit.
Oh yeah, what are you going to do with it?
Just sort of try and change the pose of it, because although you can put different arms on, it's still basically the same model.
Yeah.
So I want to do one that's a bit different.
So is there some mileage in joining it with either the furnace kit or the warp lightning cannon
I
kit?
think there's mileage to join it with almost anything.
Yeah.
A lot of people at the Masters was talking to me, you could make it into this, you could make it into that. Someone said a great and clean one. Little
Yeah,
Rob said about
definitely.
great and clean one. Just sort of cut it off at sort of mid-shoulder height and then plonk your great and clean one on top of it.
Yeah, so it's got like a big flabby belly and goes
Yeah.
into the great and clean one
Yeah.
itself. I like that.
Yeah.
It's a good idea.
It looked great. So yeah, that was quite impressive. Ikit Claw's a really nice model as well. Might have to get another one of him because I did rush it a little bit.
See, I've not had a good look at these because obviously at the Masters it was a bit
Yeah.
hectic. I do need to have a look because Ikit Claw is one of my favourite
Yeah.
models of all time, and obviously now they've started playing around with it. It's a bit sacrilege. Have they done it justice to
I
the
think so.
original?
I think it's really nice. It doesn't quite make sense. The sort of backpack, and it's like got a hydraulic thing on his arm, but it doesn't seem as if it's got anywhere to
It's not
extend
attached
to.
anywhere.
Well, no, it's attached, but it doesn't look as if it looks as if it just holds his arm straight out all the time,
Oh, right, okay.
rather than sort of moving it up and down. But that fits together in a weird way.
Yeah.
It's sort of like the arm's there, and then you put a piece on it and like into it, and it's quite hard to describe, but it's very, very odd.
Okay.
A bit of bending and filing just to get it to fit snug.
And did you build a cannon as well, or have you you've not done the cannon
no,
yet?
No.
Okay, what's the other one you did? You did the
Doomflayer.
Doomflayer. How did you
Yeah.
get on with that one?
That's nice. Again, I think if I did another one, I'd chop it about a bit because it's very flat. It's
Okay,
only,
yeah.
I think it's in 5 bits. So you like the middle bit with the 2 crew on, and the sort of wheel holdy bit is one flat piece. So
Okay.
I sort of bent the 2 tails of the crew either way to stop it being completely flat. I think what I'd do if I did another one was cut the top guy off and replace it with a Storm Vermin.
Oh, yeah,
Vermin
yeah. A bit bigger, aren't they?
So it's more sideways and sticking out rather
Yeah.
than just being sort of quite
Bit
flat.
one-dimensional.
Bit one-dimensional, yeah.
Okay. So, have you played any games other than the obviously the tournament?
Other than the tournament, no. I did. Sorry, yeah. I played on the Tuesday when I spoke to Dan.
And who did you play?
I played-
How'd you get on?
Who did I play? I played Little Matt, and yeah, it was a bit rough.
The Hobgoblin.
The Hobgoblin, yeah, yeah, he got a bit smashed. It was
Oh dear, what was he using?
Orcs and Goblins.
Okay, and how did the Skaven perform? Well, or was it just his orcs were bad?
His Orcs were just bad. If I'm honest, he was having awful dice. I says, "Dude, man," I says, "Your dice have been awful." And he sort of looks at me and says, "Well, they've been quite average for me. Normally they're a lot worse." It's
So
like,
we
oh,
was
man.
following Pete Foley, wasn't we, over
Yes.
the Masters weekend? It was also the Throne of Skulls
That's
tournament.
right.
And what was it? Hobgoblins got beaten by...
Hobgoblin's got smashed by a Hellstrom. Hobgoblin's got smashed by such and such on every tweet, which,
Quite amusing watching him. Watching them all come in.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So.
Did you know that the guy who won it, first game, played a Beastman player,
Yep.
who rocked up on Friday with the old Beastman book and a copy of 7th edition under his arms?
Yep.
Didn't know there'd been a new edition and a new Beastman book.
I know, that's crazy, isn't it? And then he played a pregnant lady.
Yes, who nearly beat him.
Who nearly beat him.
Go, yeah. Brian.
And then he played Tomb Kings.
Yes.
And yeah, so Brian Orr, legend, the man, the legend.
Brian Orr, the man who got Orion killed by a horse twice.
Yeah, twice. I killed it by a horse.
See, we're allowed to rip the mickey out of him, we know him. It's
yeah,
okay.
It's fine. Okay, so what's that lot in front of you?
This lot is some rat ogres.
What are the what
they are the Island of Blood rat ogres with abomination bits stuck to them.
Nice. You know what? It works.
Yeah, it does. Then still need some green stuff. And I sat down on Saturday to paint. I've got some dark elves to paint, and I just couldn't get into it at all. So I sat and made some rat ogres instead.
Yeah, still need a bit of green stuff.
Yeah, they need to. Basically, it's just the Island of Blood
with
rat ogres with arm swaps and head swaps. So they just need a bit of muscle, a bit of fur stuck on them.
Are these on the forum yet?
They are on anything yet? No.
Are you going to take some photos?
Yeah,
and get them
we'll
on
do.
Snake House section
Yeah.
in this state as well before you go any further.
Because in the abomination kit you get about 4, maybe 5 arms and 2 or 3 heads spare. If you follow the sort of instructions of the kit, you also get about 12 rats, which are minute.
Yeah.
Like insanely small. If you stuck them on a base and sanded it, you'd lose half the rat.
Oh, right. It's really tiny.
Yeah, really, really small.
That's crazy.
I think you're supposed to stick them on like somebody's shoulder or something like that, rather than on a base, because they are that small. But yeah, so I just got all the spare arms and bits and bobs and chucked them on some rat ogres. I think they come out quite well.
Yeah, they do. They look great. This one looks really good. Where is it? I've just had him. That one there. He's got the right arm is from the abomination, the big hand.
And the left arm.
The left arm is as well.
Yeah, that's the original arm.
Oh yeah, fair enough. So the left arm, doesn't look out of the ordinary really, but the right arm with the big claw is one of the big abominations. You know the one that's painted on the blog. They paint the claws purple.
That's right. Yeah,
it's one of them. So yeah, that one I do like them. But good to see them painted. Are you going to paint them and use them?
Yeah, I'm going to use them at some point. Might take them to South Coast.
Same as the Orcs and Goblin Trolls that you had.
Yeah. I think these are a little bit better than Trolls.
Fair enough.
Not a lot better, but a bit
Not
better.
a lot better, no, maybe not.
I'd quite like to do the whole, use every unit in the book sort of jazz.
Yeah. How's that Vermin Lord going to work?
I've got a great
you?
idea for a Vermin Lord.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Is it from an abomination?
No. Who did I see do it? Oh, somebody did it on the Warhammer forum. The plastic Demon Prince.
Oh, yeah.
Model,
okay.
with the one without the wings, and then Vermin Lord head. In fact, I think he used a rat ogre head, and then I don't know where he got horns from.
Made some horns.
And then just a glaive, make a glaive
out of the screaming bell swinging furnace thing.
No, that was Neil did that, didn't he?
Yeah.
He just put that on the metal Vermin Lord. No, but just make a glaive. I think you can do it out of the. I'm sure he did it out of the Prince kit. You can sort of,
there's bits in there. You
can cut down one of the swords or one of the axes into a glaive, and then you can just stick like a sensor bearer sensor on the end, and do it like that.
Sounds good.
And then a bit of fur, a few scathing icons and whatnot around his loincloth and stuff like that. And I think that's what I might do for a Vermin Lord.
Sounds good. I'd like to see that built. So, anything else you've been doing Warhammer related or not?
No, wrote a few lists, playing about with some ideas from Skaven.
What, filthing it up?
No, I was going to try and see if I could change my list for Sheffield.
Okay.
I was going to drop 2 of the weapons teams and put a catapult in.
All right, okay.
But I never got around to buying or building or painting a catapult.
Fair enough.
So I didn't even bother asking.
No.
Yeah. That was going to be my little present for getting a job. Yay.
Yay. Yay me. I buy a catapult.
I got a job.
Wicked.
But then I had to start the next day, so I didn't get
No. Okay, is nothing else you've done? Not anything not Warhammer related? Nothing?
No. Started a new job.
Okay.
And I'm now knackered.
Yeah, I know the feeling.
6 weeks off and then straight back in it with no warning. It's like, oh, bloody hell.
It's a bit harder than sitting at home painting, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so my fortnightly fantasy. I didn't really play much. I played Greg Milne a few weeks ago. I think I spoke about with my Masters list. Then I didn't play any games in the run-up to the Masters. I did a bit of painting. I had 30 crossbowmen to paint and a Pegasus Rider. I think that was about it. I got them done in time for the Masters. Only base coat inked and based. But I'm looking forward to lovely models because I'm using the old first and second. You don't like them. They're so nice to paint.
I like some of them. I like some of them.
And I think there's some dodgy ones, but when they're all mixed in together, it looks good that none of them are the same as well. They're all...
A lot of them look really out of proportion. What's that one with the woman?
One's got no body.
Yeah.
It's just legs and boobs.
It's legs, boobs, head.
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
But then when she's in the middle of the unit, you can't tell.
That's true.
It's fine. So, I enjoyed painting them. It was quite good, actually, because I was a bit down on painting Dark Elves, getting fed up of it. I spoke about painting the War Machine stuff before, and it was just nice to paint something different. But by the time I was done them, I was quite like, I could paint some more of them. So I've now got out I've just moved them all tonight, haven't I? To get the podcasting gear out. My 40 Blackguard and 30 Corsairs for Sheffield. So I've been touching them up. One Blackguard unit's finished by the bases. I could probably do some more highlighting on them, but they've already had 2 or 3 highlights and everything. I painted them ages ago. I've been painting them for like 2 years.
You put 3 highlights and stuff, really?
Yeah, maybe more. The metal's been done. The metal's on them. It's some of the best metal I've done. Then the purple, it was just like, sick of painting purple. I'm getting through them. And then the second unit I did, I started with a slightly different purple colour, and it killed me. I did all the purple on the models, and then they've just been sat there with the purple done and nothing else, and I can't be asked to do any more on them. But they're the 5th edition Blackguard, which I really like painting.
I love them.
Nice figures. So I'm looking forward to getting them finished. I'll get them done this week, or at least done to a gaming sort of standard this week for Sheffield. And then my 30 Corsairs I fetched out, and then my old ones from my old army, and it's like, they're painted, they're based. I can get away with it for Sheffield, and then I'll strip them. After Sheffield, I'll strip them and repaint them for the new army.
See, that's what's wrong with Warhammer.
Yeah, it probably is at the moment, but it will do. They're not painted bad. They're not bad.
They meet the criteria.
They meet the criteria, and I had a whole army painted to that standard, and I was happy to use it all the time. It's just my painting's got better since then.
Yeah.
And it's not like it's wildly better, but it's noticeable. You know what I mean? If you really had a look. The biggest thing is they painted in a red colour scheme and the rest of it's purple. That bothers me more than the painting quality on them. Well, hey-ho. Yeah, they'll get thrown in. So my Sheffield list is coming together. I played a game with it against Greg the other week. Played a Watchtower scenario, and he used... he had a slan in 20 Temple Guard or something, 16 Temple Guard. He used a big block of Source Warriors, a big block of Skink Croxigors, and then 2 Stegodons as well, which is a rare sight nowadays.
Yeah, was one an engine?
One was an engine in the Guards, and one was just an ancient.
Because I just watched a bit of this, didn't I?
And I was running Shadow Magic level 4 and a Shadow Magic level 2 and a Cauldron of Blood. So Blackguard got powered up, charged the 20 Source in the building, killed 13 of them, charged them again next turn and killed the other 7 with Mind Razor on them this time.
What was it, 8 dice Mind Razor?
Yeah, something like that. Mind Razor went off turn 2 to turn 5, and Greg had no men left by turn 5, and it went off every turn, and every turn I wiped a unit out of it. And I even got to use my Siren Song on my Hydra. You heard about this?
Ben Curry, you're my hero.
Yes. So the Hydra's run up one flank, chased off some skinks, and then ran into the front of a skink Crocs unit. No, Corsairs has gone into the skink Crocs unit, killed all the skinks in 2 rounds of combat. It's like 25 of them. But the Croxigors had just been killing like 7 or 8 Corsairs around. Plus,
that never happens, does it?
Plus some wounds from the skinks. He killed 20 Corsairs in 2 rounds of combat, and I killed about the same amount of skinks. And in the 3rd round, he broke me. And then he broke me in my turn and got to turn to face the Hydra. And I'm like, charge the Hydra, Greg. See what happens. Greg, charge the Hydra.
You'll wave your hand though.
It was like, Greg,
charge the Hydra.
Charge the Hydra. And it's like, no, he'll just eat me. I'm like, no, Greg, I've took 2 wounds. You've got all your magic phase and everything. He's like, chuck it in. We'll see what happens. So he's like, yeah, chucks him in, rolls 3 for his magic phase. I whips my scroll out, shuts his phase down. Hydra kills 2 complete Croxigor before they get to strike. The last one just waves his stick and goes, tired after killing all them Corsairs. And gives the Hydra a free 10-inch pursuit towards the flank of the Temple Guard.
Poor Greg.
My turn next. I charge the flank of the Temple Guard. Temple Guard had already charged a building once with the Blackguard in, so I'd killed quite a few of them. And then the Hydra went in the side, mind raised him up, and wiped all the Temple Guard out and ran down the slan. And by then it was like turn 3, and there's no coming back from that.
Had Greg lost the will by that point?
Yeah, but he did want to carry on, even to the point where I kept withering his Stegodons and shooting them to pieces. I withered a Stegodon and shot it with 2 units of Shades and 10 crossbow, and he killed it in 1 round. And the Shades were only like 2 units of 6, I think they were. Yeah, it was brutal. But yeah, Shadow Magic, eh? Who'd have thought?
Who'd have thought?
So that was the one game I've played in the last fortnight.
Does that not comp and restrictions for the Sheffield Slaughter on your pin to your wall out of interest?
Yes, it is.
Does that not say no more than 6 dice can be used to cast a spell?
I don't think I was chucking more than 6. I was playing to that when I was playing.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah.
Were you not running around shouting 9 dice mind razor?
No. It was just mind razor. I was running that because he asked me what the comp was because I don't think Greg's going.
Right.
And I was only using 6. I don't think I was rolling high for magic phases anyway.
Oh, okay.
In fact, the only time I did roll high, I rolled 10, and it was like, okay, I'll have 5 dice on Pit and 5 dice on Mind Razor. And I got the dagger in there as well for an extra snickety snick.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a good fun list. I don't know how well it'll go in the tournament with 3 big combat blocks and the Hydra and the Cauldron. It's got a lot of combat power, but it's a bit one-dimensional.
Does it not look very similar to the list that just won the Masters?
No, it's miles different. Absolutely miles different. I've got 30 Corsairs. I've got 2 units of 20 Blackguard. I've only got 2 units of 6 Shades.
Yeah, only because you're not allowed anymore.
I've got double Shadow Magic instead of Shadow and Fire. I've not got the Pegasus Rider. It's quite different. So,
okay.
But it's Dark Elves. They all look the same, don't they? They all got a Cauldron and a
They're all
Hydra.
purple.
The thing is, I know what's going to happen. I'm going to play Life Magic every game, and the Cauldron's just going to get taken off every game.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's not, I don't know. The Cauldron is good, but in a tournament where it's 225 points and your BSB disappears.
I'm not sure I'd make it the BSB.
Yeah, but then you struggle for points. I mean, I could stick a Pegasus Rider in, make him the BSB, but then it's 200 points.
Yeah.
Or I could just put a hero in foot on.
But then do you get, if you want to keep him out of Dweller's range, does he not sit at the back just buffing from a distance?
What, the Cauldron?
Yeah.
But then you're not, BSB's not in range,
That's
is
what
it?
I mean. So if you made something else the BSB...
Yeah, but you need to get the points to fit another model in the list as well.
Well, fuck off the BSB.
What, don't have one at all?
Yeah.
Well, you may as well have one on the Cauldron then.
But not if it's sat at the back of the board.
Oh. You're an idiot.
Yeah, no, okay. But then you sat here moaning that it dies to Dwellers, but Dwellers is short-ranged, so...
Yeah, it's 24 inches. No, there's ways around it. It's just, I don't know.
I suppose then
If you want to build a combat army...
in those games against the Life Magic, you just got to accept you're not on a BSB,
It's kind of why I've got the double Shadow, because I can roll a level 4 first, not take Steed.
Yeah.
Then roll the level 2, so she should have Steed. And then she could sit at the back with Miasma and Steed.
Yeah.
Both Miasma's massive range, 48 inches and a 5 to cast. Steed of Shadows I can cast on the Cauldron of Blood, which is right next to me. And, you just get it forward when I need to. Because it's a single model. It's, you know what I mean? Character, War Machine, because it's a War Machine, it's all on one base. And it can fly.
You can just see
You're
it
screwing
now,
your
can't
face
you?
up and
You can just see
shaking
it,
your
can't
head.
you? It's Cauldron flying through the air.
Someone's going to get mad.
boys, it's okay.
Someone's going to want to kill me. They're going to climb across the table and try and throttle
We're going to
me
have to
about
hold
it.
them off, aren't we?
Yeah, you're going to have to hold them off. So, yeah.
You know I'm
that's-
not going to, don't you?
No, you're not. So, yeah, that's my list for Sheffield. I'm looking forward to it, actually. It's a bit of a change of pace for what I usually take.
There's not that much shooting in there.
Looking forward to seeing how... There's 2 units of 10 crossbows and 2 units of 6 shades, which is still...
Hold on. The list you took to the Masters, you had 10 guys without a crossbow.
Okay. You know
90 guys with a
in
crossbow.
7th edition when we was rocking the Uber Filth Dark Elf army, which everyone was criticising us for,
I never used that.
that had about the same amount of shooting. In fact, it had 5 Dark Riders instead of...
The difference there, though, they were shooting at units of 10 men.
Yes, of course.
Now it's like shooting mud.
Yeah. So, anyway, other stuff. I've read The God King.
Ah, yes.
Done, dusted, finished. It's awesome. Absolutely awesome. It's Nagash invades the Empire and Sigmar is there to smack his face.
Get away!
And it is one of the best Black Library books I've read. It's better than any of the Horus Heresy ones I've read. I don't know if it's as good as the Malekith Town of Legends, But then I am a big Dark Elf fanboy, so I do like the elf stuff. But it's better than the Gashtam Legends. It's really enjoyed it. I definitely recommend the God King. You should read it, actually. In fact, I've got a copy somewhere lying around.
I struggle for time for reading, but what I did do was I snaffled the audio CDs.
Yeah, so you've had 2 of them, haven't you? You've had
what are they called?
You've had Garrow,
and something else.
Hellion Rain.
That's the one.
What are they about? Because I got them. They arrived in a big parcel, and you were like, "I'm having them," and then they're gone.
I'll have the audio ones.
Yeah.
Brilliant. I listened to them on the way to work. Garrow is about what I kind of figure is a early Grey Knight. I think he was a.
So Garrow was one of the Death Guard, and when the Death Guard turned, he refused to turn, and he took his ship, which was the Eisenstein, and they flew into the warp. And I was halfway through reading that book, and then the God King turned up, so I ditched the other series, started reading the God King. So when I've finished, I'll be going back to read Prospero Burns, because that's the next one on the list. I've just started. It's by the bedside table. I'm going to read a bit tonight, I think, before I go to bed. But yeah, it's a continuation of
he just turns up in his grey armour and goes looking for a dude who was a librarian, and then was told, no, naughty, you can't use that anymore. And then he sort of does and starts blasting people with his purple lightning and stuff.
Purple lightning?
Well, I think it's purple, not sure.
It is in your head.
It is in my head,
so who was the librarian? Did he have a name?
He did have a name, but I can't remember it. Okay. I don't know. He was just a Marine in a squad.
Yeah.
Because he had to hand in his force weapon and his psychic hood and stuff when the Emperor says, no more fun, boys, sorry. Fun police are here. And he just went back into a squad as just a normal Marine. And then this guy, Garrow, goes to find him and some mission that he's got. And it's good. One thing that does make me chuckle, though, is they're fighting the World Bearers.
Yeah,
because they've just turned, and apparently a lot of their units were killed when the World Bearers sort of wanders up to them. You all right, boys? How you doing? Because at that point they were all getting on.
Yeah,
they didn't know they'd turned, and they gunned them all down, killed them all.
Yeah.
So they've all got the same armor and the same weapons, and then there's a bit at the end, and there's like 10 Ultramarines fighting a legion of World Bearers, and they're just gunning them down like Billy O.
Yeah,
none of them are dying. And I'm like, yeah, hang about. What's going on here?
Yeah.
Until the Terminators turn up. And that sort of puts a bit of a dent in it. But then the Purple Lightning comes out and sorts them right out. And the other one is about a scout squad fighting Tyranids. And that's really good. The start of that is all about them sort of playing cat and mouse with a lictor.
Oh, yeah.
Which is really cool. Again, units of scouts, man. That's what you need in 40k, because they're nails. 3 of them.
Movie scouts.
3 of them kill a Hive Tyrant. It's brilliant.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really good listen, actually.
Okay, well, I'll have to have them back off you.
Yeah. In fact, they're in the car.
See how I get on. But yeah, it's...
you know what you do need, though? You need a CD player in your van.
Behave. So I've had a new van, because I've got a new job. I've had a van, and it's got a tape player in it, and it's just like, what? So yeah, maybe I don't know what I'm going to do. I'll have to listen to them at home while I'm painting, which, nothing unusual there.
No, but they are good. I'd recommend them.
Yeah, excellent. Okay, so that was, what were they called?
Garrow and
Hellion Rain. Hellion Rain. Okay. Well, I think that covers Fortnite and Fantasy nicely. Is there anything else you want to chuck in there?
Nope.
Okay, well, we're going to go for a short break, and then when we come back, we're going to talk about the Masters. Once upon a time, there was a guy named Oggy. Oggy loved nothing more than to go to a Warhammer tournament on a Saturday afternoon. He'd got his lovely army all ready to go, all purchased from the Og Games web store. And he'd even lined up his first 8th edition Warhammer event. The day of the tournament came, and it was horrible. He got smashed in every single game. It was all too much. Oggy was ready to give in. He'd had enough. He didn't want to play this silly game anymore. It was going to be an epic rage quit. And then the voices started.
Oggy! Oggy! Embrace the filth! Oggy! Embrace the filth!
It was like a switch had been flipped. Oggy was a new gamer. He headed straight to the Og Games web store, oggames.co.uk, and he created his armies of mass destruction. And the best thing was, they were all at 15% off. So head on over to oddgames.co.uk where you can get anything you need from the Games Workshop universe at 15% off. They also have a huge range of products that can satisfy all your wargaming needs. That's oddgames.co.uk. Hi guys, I just want to take a minute to tell you about an amazing new product from Battlefoam. It's the brand new Battlefoam Warhammer Fantasy trays. Battlefoam has recently released 40 of these trays, pre-cut to suit any of your fantasy army needs. If you have a huge monster, an amazing character, or a wild conversion, you can also design your own tray using the Battlefoam Custom Tray Creator. You can get a unique custom tray to suit your unique custom army. Battlefoam also make a revolutionary range of bags called the Pack System. These bags are designed to carry your army in total safety no matter how big or small. There'll be a bag designed for exactly what you want. No matter what it is you need transporting, you can find the foam and bag to do it at battlefoam.com. Okay, so the Masters was a weekend ago, week and a half ago now as we're recording.
What was it today? Monday? Yeah.
Yeah, so at Maelstrom Games. So before we get into anything, I want to give some thanks out. Obviously, Maelstrom Games,
Yes.
obviously, first and foremost. They're not a sponsor out, so there's no, I'm not trying to promote them because they're a sponsor. What they did was they paid for the Masters players to eat, which basically means the event is free then. Because
Free for the 16 players in each,
they paid,
each system.
and then the trophies and whatnots came out of as it was. We were just going to give certificates out, so it wouldn't cost. It cost us a bit of money in paying for the certificates, but we ran the side event, and because we had plenty of money spare after we'd paid for food, breakfast, and all that sort of thing, we had money for trophies as well for the Masters event. So Maelstrom paid for the food for 40k and Warhammer.
It was very good of them.
Yeah, so big thanks have to go out to Maelstrom Games, and obviously for hosting us for the weekend as well. It's always nice to have a nice venue to play tournaments in. And Maelstrom's definitely a nice venue, especially now they've got the bar open downstairs.
Makes a big difference, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. I think one of the big things with Maelstrom is it does get quite noisy upstairs.
Yeah, they're very low ceilings, aren't they?
And having been able to escape downstairs away from the noise is really nice.
Yeah.
Or likewise at dinner time, just sit upstairs and you chill when it's ever so peaceful.
Yeah.
So it is nice. It's just got a bit of an escape from the madness. Big thanks to Maelstrom. Now, obviously, we've got some other guys that we dragged in to kicking and screaming to help us for the weekend.
Yeah, we had Luke Rooney and Rob Downey in Warhammer, didn't we?
Yep.
Basically, data monkeys and spare players if necessary.
Yeah,
and any sort of odd jobs really.
And
wasn't it?
James Knight came over for 40k to help with that sort of thing. So big thanks to them three guys because although I'm sure we could have coped, it would have been insane.
It would have been, yeah.
They did.
To be honest, we couldn't have coped.
You're probably right. Actually.
One of us would have had to
Couldn't
bend it off and done it.
Yeah. And then Andrew was there. Andrew from Rankings HQ was there to do all the data entry.
Yep.
So big thanks to him. So yeah, thanks to all them guys. Obviously, I can't express our gratitude enough. Really, they did make the event run a whole lot smoother. And talking smooth, I don't think we had a single problem. Everyone seemed to enjoy themselves. I didn't encounter any issues with spreadsheet problems or data entry problems or organisation problems. So yeah, it seemed like a good event was had by all. Everyone left with a smile on the face.
Yeah, I've not seen any bad reports. No one said anything bad, so it's going to be a good thing, can't it?
Yeah, it must be a good thing.
We've got a bit of feedback for changes for next year.
Yeah, we've had some ideas for changes. There might be a change to the format for the entry requirements.
Yeah.
Been talk of maybe just altering a few things. I don't know. We'll decide by sort of end of March time for them.
Maybe give certificates out for people with best army icons. Would be nice.
Especially if they've got two of them.
Especially if they've got two of them.
Yeah, it's difficult when you've got 4 systems running. When it was just Warhammer Masters, it was easy. When there's 60 odd players, it's a bit more difficult.
You could have just done my two.
You just fair enough. Okay, so on to the gaming. Now there was a side event, and there was only 12 players, something like that.
It's not 14.
14 players, something like that. But they all enjoyed themselves. They all seemed to have a good time. Hopefully next year, obviously, good feedback coming from the first year. There might be more.
Yeah, and it was quite a last minute thing as well, wasn't it? Doing it.
It was quite late. Did it go up in October? We announced the.
I think was it not later than that? It might have been.
It might have been, yeah.
And again, this close to Christmas, there's a lot of tournaments around the same sort of time as well. So, but yeah, they like I say, they all seem to have a good time. Next year, when Maelstrom's up to the full capacity of 120, did Gary say?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And that obviously means that there's much more room for an even bigger side event, which obviously is a better tournament for everybody. So yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to do we're going to give a shout out to the guys who got the places in the Masters Open. So third place, Steve Rose, Skaven. Second place was Mark Borland with his Wood Elves. And in first place was Raphael Harbinson with Vampire Counts. Now, apparently, most of the armies were sort of around the same sort of similar power level. And then Raphael came with Lebobo, 4-block Vampire Army of Doom.
You say that, but Steve Rose had double Abomination.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, fair enough. I might be wrong on that then.
And I think did Mark have 2 Tree Men? But then we were saying earlier, weren't we, that Tree Men are obviously the most broken things in Warhammer.
Yeah. So, yeah, like I say, congrats to them guys. Best painted was Ed Morris with his Beastman as well, which is quite a nice army, actually.
It was, yeah.
You were looking at them.
I had a brief look, but it was only brief. I was running around like an idiot. Seemed every game. And I didn't finish a game early.
Yeah.
Every game seemed to be
I finished
up
one
to the
early.
wire.
We'll talk about that in a bit.
Oh, dear.
Okay, so on to the Masters, the main event. It's what everyone was there for, unfortunately. I know the side event might have been a bit discarded, but at the end of the day, it was the Masters. So the first round draw we did live on the show, the episode you can download from the Snakehouse section. It's all there now.
I think that went down quite well as well. I had a few people saying that was a really good idea with the dice thing. That was good. So
you was proud of yourself for that one.
I was quite chuffed for that, yeah.
For the listeners who didn't see the show?
Basically got 16 different club dice, a bad dice, a pony dice.
Yeah, and people like Chris Legg, who's a Dragon Slayer. There was a Dragon Slayer
dice in there, yeah. A Warlord's dice for Keith, an NWA dice for Will, various different things. We had the 2 that we all wanted to see, the Scatter and the Misfire dice.
And they came out in next to each other, didn't they?
Yeah, but the wrong way around.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But no, I think that was quite good. I think we might continue that next year.
Okay, so we made some predictions, didn't we?
Oh, God. Oh, we did, yeah. Don't find them.
Okay, so during the live show, we made some predictions. We'd done the first round draw, and so the rundown was, first up was Singe Frost versus Chris Legg, and I think we both said Chris Legg would win, didn't we?
Yeah.
And he didn't. Singe hammered him, 1,500 points.
It was, bear in mind, listeners, it was Watchtower, and I can tell you from experience, this game don't so much like the Watchtower.
Yeah, and at the time we didn't know it was Watchtower when we made the predictions. It was just a draw.
There was, when the dice was rolled first thing in the morning to see what scenario was, there was 8 cheers and 8 groans.
Yeah, and there was Will Goodwin jumping up and down and screaming in delight because he was playing me, and he was so happy that he got the Watchtower. Okay, so the next one out of the hat was Russ Veal versus Bobo, and it was the Vampire off, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And we went either way. I
went with Russ just on the experience.
Yeah, and you was wrong. Actually, Bobo got him because he got the unit in the Watchtower. Yeah. Russ hammered his whole army from around it, but 45 Graveguard in the Watchtower aren't going anywhere, are they?
No.
Next up, there was Dan versus Martin Furnival, and we both tipped Dan for the win on that one.
We did.
And he did, actually. He got a big win. Cruised through quite easily on that one, I think.
They got a draw, dude. It just happens that Dan was in the tower.
Did he really?
600 and...
Oh, yeah.
Sixth place,
Yeah, sorry. I'm thinking of the wrong game there then. I thought Dan had hammered him.
No.
But he got in the tower, so that's all that matters in the end. Okay, next up was Keith and yourself, and we both tipped you to go down in flames, didn't we?
Yes.
And how did you get on?
Went down in flames.
Was it really that bad?
To be honest, no, it wasn't. I think it was turn 4 or 5. He got his Graveguard in the building. There's not a lot I could do to stop him. But I got them down to about 12 guys from 35. And I had the Abomination that could charge the building, and I also had my Warlord unit that could charge the building. But I'd killed his Vampire Lord by this point, so he had no helm. And I thought, right, he just needs a poor magic phase. I'd still got a scroll. He needs a poor magic phase. Sorry, no, his Vampire Lord died in the end of the game, but he was still up. at the time. But what I thought is I can get the Abomination to his Vampire Lords unit so we can't helm the Graveguard
Yeah.
and get the Warlords unit in. Like I said, there's only 12 or 13 of them left. I thought got a good chance of popping him. And then I think all he needs is a poor magic face, and he rolls a 10.
Oh.
Plus his master and gets them all back.
Oh, nice.
So it's like, and that was it really. And like I say, I think Skaven struggled with that. And speaking to Chris as well, he
Yeah,
says the same
Leggy was
thing.
saying he struggled with all the scenarios.
Yeah, but
Okay, so yeah, Keith did the business there in the
yeah,
end.
it wasn't. I mean, I got a lot of victory points out of it.
Yeah, I think you got quite a lot more than him, didn't he? He got
Yeah.
300 victory points off you, and that was the least you give away all weekend, wasn't it? In that one,
Probably, yeah,
and then you got 1600 off Keith.
yeah.
But in the building for the win.
In the building for the win. Yeah.
So
absolutely.
my game against Will, Will won the role to start in the building, and I was like, oh great. Well, to be honest, I didn't really mind. I'd like to have been in the building to start with. 20 crossbowmen shooting at short range first turn and all that. But it also meant he started with 20 ghouls in the building, and I charged with both Hydras, knowing that one should get there.
Yeah.
And obviously the first one got there, so the second one failed charge, and killed all 20 ghouls in one round of combat.
Yeah, it's not.
Which is average dice assured. You need to kill 11 ghouls.
Yeah.
Which with a thunderstorm, a breath weapon, handlers attacks.
Yeah,
When the handlers charged and killed 4 ghouls,
Yeah. You're in trouble.
Will was
aren't
like, "Oh, that's done it. That's swung it." And it was like, "Well, it should be easy. I'll breathe fire next." And then breathe fire kills another 2. Stomp kills 3 or 4. All Hydra attack kills 3 or 4.
you? Yeah.
And I'd killed like 14 ghouls, and then
The handlers killing 4 is probably a little over the odds, isn't it? But
yeah, but the handler should kill 1. The Hydra should kill probably 3.
come on, 1 shouldn't they? 2
4's
maybe?
to hit. 3's to hit.
3's to hit with the reroll. 5's
Yeah.
to wound.
1, maybe 2.
Yeah.
A Hydra kill 3, maybe 4. The breath weapon kills, well, I could say 3
3 or
maybe
4.
4. And that's enough without the thunderstorm.
Yeah.
And then you thunderstorm and it finishes them. What Will didn't do was leave his Vampire Lord or his BSB within 12 of the building. So he couldn't helm him. He couldn't get his BSB to keep the 1 extra alive. So the Hydra popped him. Harpies had gone over the top, so he couldn't move into the building. And then my turn 2, I moved my 20 crossbowmen in there.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just threw units in front of the Graveguard and everything to keep him out. Until turn 4, he had one last chance of charging a single vampire into the building on his own against 5 men, and he basically had to break me. He was all he's hoping for. The Graveguard got a killing blow on my BSB that round, killed my BSB, and then the Vampire Comet went next, and I failed my steadfast roll on an 8, and that was that. And Will took the building, and the game ended because of time, basically.
Who'd have thought that?
Now, after all that, what I didn't say was I blew my level 4 up on turn 2 as well. So I played 3 of Will's magic phases with no level 4.
That's a bit rough.
So yeah, Will just snatched it. I felt a bit hard done by. I thought I played a lot better than him. I gave a lot of victory points away, but it was to keep his Death Star unit out of the building, and did what I had to do it, and it seemed to be going all right. But yeah, but for one stubborn test on an 8, and I'd have been all right. And I knew it was going to happen. I just knew
You
it was
see
going
it
to
coming,
happen.
can't you?
Yeah, it's like I don't deserve it. I do not deserve that. And then it ran off. I mean, after blowing the level 4 up, you'd have thought it'd have cut you a bit of slack, but obviously not. It's my own fault for not taking the Earthing Rod on the level 4, took the Focus Move instead.
Yeah.
So, Will got that one. I think we both predicted myself to win,
Yeah.
which I think in a straight-up fight I'd have been a bit more confident. But oh well, there was the breaks. Next game we predicted was Isherwood versus Wildman. We said it would be a draw. Now, looking at the results in front of me, Wildman got the tower, and Isherwood killed a load of his army, but didn't really matter because Wildman had his tower with.
Yeah.
He also took a folding fortress, so he
Yeah.
had double tower.
He wasn't so much a folding fortress, he was a folding super fortress.
Yeah, it was a bit of a castle.
It was a bit of a castle.
So Michael Biggs versus Rich Lakin, game 1. We both thought Michael would win. Actually, Rich got it.
We also both thought that Rich should be somewhere near the bottom.
Yeah, so we did. We'll get to
What
that
do
in
we
a bit,
know?
though. The game apparently hinged on Michael taking a Leadership 8 reform test to move his Chosen into the building and fail on it. And then the Chosen, while they're in a conga line, getting charged by the Blackguard and getting pinned there for the game. And that was the end of it, pretty much.
Oh dear.
Okay, and the last one was Nick versus Adam. Now, I predicted Nick and you predicted Adam. And the result was Adam actually won that one, didn't he? which was quite good. He didn't score any victory points hardly, but he kept the building.
By all accounts, didn't really attack the building.
No, Nick baselined it all and sat there watching. And about like turn 5, Adam was like, "Nick, if you
know it's Watchtower, right?
You've got to get the building, haven't you?" And Nick was like, "I've got a plan. It's a bit of a long shot, but it's a plan." I think his plan was to dwell as the toughness, strength 5 bloodletters all to death. But I don't know, maybe not. So our round of predictions was basically 1-1. We both got a few wrong. We both got a few right.
So out of 16...
Out of 8 rounds, 8 games.
8 games, 16 players, we got 1 each.
Yeah. Well, we got a few each. Like, we both got Leggy right. Sorry, we both got Leggy wrong. I got Bobo right. You got... Yeah, we're hit and miss fairly a lot. I got one that you didn't, and you got one that I didn't.
So, listeners, we really don't know anything about Warhammer.
We suck at these predictions.
Maybe you should listen to, I don't know what, someone else.
Yeah, someone else. Podhammer. Go listen to Podhammer. Or not. Okay,
No.
so that was round 1. Obviously, there's some big results in there which shook things up.
Yeah.
Some stuff we expected, some stuff we didn't. Obviously, I think the big sigh of relief was all the people that had won were now happy that they didn't have to play my shooty Army of Doom. But there was still some good games. So going into round 2,
I think a lot of people as well were quite happy to get Watchtower out of the way.
yeah, I think they were. Now round 2, there was some good draws. I mean, Will Goodwin played Singe Frost. I watched most of this game because I finished my game pretty quickly. Singe charged 6 chariots into 50 ghouls and popped them all in one go. And at the same time, charged. It was 5 chariots into 50 ghouls and 3 chariots into 20 ghouls, both at the same time. Popped both ghouls units, and that looked pretty bad for Will at that point. But it was the Blood and Glory scenario. Yeah. So Will eventually got his Graveguard into the big Gore unit with all the characters in and chopped them up and broke the unit. Now Singe was running a Doom Ball with the flying carpet.
Yes.
Which caught a few people out.
No, I didn't know this until after the event.
No,
in fact, when we were driving home.
I heard Russ Veal raging about it, going, "The Doom Ball charged me race, like turn 1, flew across the board into him with his magic weapon and killed him." And it was like, wow, flying carpet Doom Ball, how cool is that? We've got 1 up armor save and a magic weapon. Pretty good. I like that. Other highlights, I suppose my game against Martin Furnival was the highlight of that round, really, wasn't it? Martin lined his army up and shoved the bloodletters at me, and I thought, should be all right here. I'll kill all them, kill his general, I'll break him. And then he cast miasma on like 6 or 7, and I chucked all my dice to stop it and didn't. And I'm like, okay, my big 20 crossbowmen now are on ballistic skill 1, not going to be shooting much, and I didn't shoot much. And then next round he shoved him in my face again, and that was when it opened up. It all just machine gunned. I killed 36 bloodletters, including the general, who's the herald with a 3 up armor save and 5 up ward, in 1 round of shooting. And I had 2 units to spare. 1 unit which had ran off the board and 1 unit which didn't get to shoot and felt a bit left out. And that was it. 2 turns and about 40 minutes, and I killed all the bloodletters and the general and broke his fortitude.
Wither them or anything? Or?
Oh, sorry, I cast Soul Blight.
Right.
Oh, that was the beauty of it. I had like 4 dice left. I'm like, should I be cheeky here? It's like, yeah, let's be cheeky. 2 dice on Spirit Leech on your BSB, and he's like, oh, I need to stop that. Chucked all his dice at it. He'd already scrolled the same Spirit Leech the turn before, and it's like, okay, 2 dice left, Soul Blight. It's on a 9, so I only need a 5. In, bang, let's go. Toughens 2 bloodletters, Shazam, and that was it. I was walking around watching games and just wandering around with nothing to do for 3 hours.
I didn't have one of them out of all 6.
That was the only one I had all weekend. So, who did you play?
I played the Pym.
The Nick Pym. And
yeah.
How did you get on? I came and watched part of this. Quite interesting. Good game, maybe.
Yeah, it was. I was just frustrating. Big units of demons, so hard to get points out of. I charged a good third of my army. No, probably more than that. Probably 2/3 of my army into the Bloodletters. Warlords unit, Censer Bearers, Doomflayer, Giant Rats, Gutter Runners, Slaves, and didn't kill them. Left about 6 of them left. It was a bit insane.
And then what happened?
I can't remember.
Oh, I think you can. I think you're blocking it out on purpose.
Oh, yeah, brain fart, wasn't it? Yeah, when I ninja reformed the slaves and then decided to flee with them, which then let the the bloodletters, plague bearers in the flank of my general's unit.
Yeah, instead of holding.
Yeah. To be honest with you, it was stupid, and it was a 7th edition hang-up
Yep.
because obviously now it's just...
wouldn't have been enemy in the way, would it?
It wouldn't have been a flank
Oh, right, got you.
more than anything. I didn't get my laser out or anything. I just glanced at it and thought, yeah, I don't mind if they charge in the front. It basically adds in +1 for charging. Doesn't matter. And then when I when I fled and moved the slaves, it's like, I think that's your flank. And I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
God,
one
it
for
is.
charging, one for the flank. Takes your 3 ranks.
Yeah. No, he didn't take my ranks because I think he was only like 7 models.
Oh, right, okay.
But it gave him a lot more attacks.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? In the end, it didn't do anything because I didn't break. But if they weren't there, possibly could have popped the bloodletters if he'd rolled high on his pop test.
As it was, there was 1 bloodletter in the held, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Saving all the points.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll talk about that in a bit because I want to have a discussion about half points and stuff if we can. Okay, so round 3, you are bottom table. Yeah.
No.
No,
Nearly.
really not. Yeah, you was because you changed the numbers round.
No, I wasn't.
You're lying.
No, I was on bottom table on Sunday.
Oh, right.
I didn't
okay.
hit the bottom table until Sunday. Leave me be.
So I played Dan Heelan in round 3.
I played Isherwood, wasn't it?
And it was battle line, it's straight up pitch battle. So I was quite confident, thinking, should be all right here. Death magic should kill his characters, his scar veterans and that. And yeah, should be okay. How mistaken was I? Well, I was going all right. I thought I was doing fine. And then he got 1 magic missile off, which killed 2 shades. They fled and they rolled a 9. They needed to run off the table. Because they hit the table edge and destroyed, they then panicked a crossbowman unit. And I had 2 units of shades, a unit of crossbowmen off on one flank, and they were facing off against what was 3 Croxigors. It was a full skink Crox unit, but I'd shot them down to 3 Croxigors and about 7 skinks.
Got you.
And when that flank collapsed on the 1 magic missile, that was it. The flank's gone now.
Yeah.
Whereas I think I'd have held him because I think I'd have shot the rest of the skinks off for sure. I think I'd have killed a Croxigor. I don't think 2 Croxigors would have gone through 10 crossbowmen.
No, it's forced to hit, isn't it?
It's forced to hit, and I get to strike first. I get 10 attacks, and I think I'd have been fine.
Yeah.
I'd have been steadfast, I reckon.
Yeah,
because
if you killed
I don't
one,
think
you would
he'd have
be.
killed 5. It depends on his stomp.
Stomp.
It would have been dicey, but either way, he'd have charged him. I'd have held. I'd have had a bit of a battle in combat. I might have held, I might not, and then he'd have chased him off. But I wouldn't have. You know what I mean? He wouldn't have been able to just sweep round and then grow back all his skinks and everything as he did. So yeah, that was pretty bad. And then on the other flank, I charged both Pegasus riders into the front and the back of his Saurus warriors, and he rolled double 6 on his flesh to stone 3 turns in a row. So they were toughness 6, including the Hydra going in and not ended up breaking him. And it's a 300-point unit.
Yeah.
I mean, in the end, Dan beat me by where are we? Let me look. It was 1,000 points to Dan and 316 to me. Now, another 300 on me for killing the Saurus warriors. That's 600. And I wouldn't have lost either of the Pegasus Knights or Pegasus Nobles at 200 points each. All of a sudden, that's a draw.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it felt a bit hard done by, but Dan played it well. Death Magic didn't kill a character at all. Just wouldn't.
Not all weekend.
I didn't kill one at all weekend. But in that game, when I was trying a lot, it just didn't do it.
I think it's a little bit.
And I don't think I rolled Purple Sun either. I can't remember. I might have done, but I know I didn't cast it.
I think Death Magic's a little bit overrated.
Soul Blight is a game winner, but other than that, Shadow Magic can do the same.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that in a bit as well. So yeah, Dan played well and he got the win. He's a good army, really good army.
Oh, yeah,
solid.
it is.
Three big blocks: Temple Guard, the big Skink Crocs, and the big Source Warrior unit.
And I like the 3
Scar
Mountain Vets.
Veterans.
I think that's
Yeah.
great.
Really, really good. Solid
And
list.
he's played it to death.
1 unit of 5 Pterodons as well.
Yeah.
He vanguarded first turn 12 inches forward to go for the because he had the +1 as well to go for the bombing run on the unit of Shades to kill some panic tests, and I won. Shot so much stuff at the Pterodons and just couldn't kill him because it's 10 wounds.
Yeah.
And they'll skirmish as well. I just couldn't do the wounds to him, and then he flew back behind his lines and was safe. Didn't give the points away.
No.
And yeah, good list, really good list. I liked it. But I think Dan had a few nightmares. He clawed a lot of points back in the end, and he did, well, we'll get to the places in a bit, but he shot up at the end. But I think earlier on he had a few problems. Game 2, he lost to Richard Lakin after Mindrazor went off on a spearman unit and flattened all the temple guard and broke the slan.
Yeah, they'll do that.
But it
wouldn't
happens,
they?
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so your game 3 you played against...
I played Andrew Ishwood with his warriors. Really nice warrior army. He's what's he got? He's got 10 or 11 chosen. About the same in warriors. 2 big blocks of marauders. But he's modelled it all out of the marauders are flagellants. But what he's got is he's got a bag of like 300 Kislevite horse archer feather plumes.
Yeah.
So all the marauders have got one of those up their backs. Basically, like I say, they're flagellants with marauder heads,
Yep.
and then these feathers. The normal warriors have got 2 of these feathers up their back and then green stuffed in some fur. And the chosen are incubi. The 40k
they've got the
incubi.
Lord of Slanesh heads on as well.
No, they're not. They're just Spartan heads. You know the resin
right.
Spartan
Yeah.
heads you can get? They're those, again with 2 feather plumes.
So they've
But-
got 3 plumes because the Spartan helmets have got 1.
Yeah. And he's also then made them cloaks out of, I'm sure he said tin foil, but I think it probably maybe plastic. I'm not sure because they looked a bit thicker than tin foil. Basically, cut the plastic into a rough. Sorry, that'll be the wife phoning again. Cut it into a rough cloak shape and then bend it.
Yeah.
Stick it on, and then across the backs of the shoulders, where you've stuck the plumes, green stuff fur, and they looked fantastic. Do you know what I mean? They didn't look 40k-ish at all. They looked really good.
I thought they looked awesome.
Yeah, and they fitted really well into his army. His war shrine was a McFarlane dragon.
No, it was his Hellcannon, wasn't it?
Sorry, his Hellcannon, that's right, was a McFarlane dragon that took the wings off and then put claws on as sort of like reaching back and throwing spore mines. He's also built on the back of it like a cage that's keeping these spore mines in. And he's got a little Chaos Dwarf man with a pair of tongs that's taking them out and putting them into the loader.
I didn't really see the Hellcannon much because we played.
Oh, right, yeah.
So, how did your game go against him?
I thought I was up. I turned the chosen into clan rats, which was ace, but I didn't actually get any clan rats because he had his damn BSB in there.
Oh, okay.
And it basically came down to the fact that I couldn't kill the War Shrine and the Hellcannon.
Because it's just too tough.
Just couldn't get past the toughness. I think they were both on a wound, which I think would have given me the win. What are they, 300 points for the pair?
Yep.
Give or take. Yeah, I think that would have given me a small win. I just couldn't get rid of them.
That's a shame.
And a bit of a brain fart as well with the Globadiers, leaving the Globadiers too close to a unit of clan rats so that when he magic missiled them, they panicked the clan rats, which I thought wasn't the end of the world. I thought I'm within my general and the BSB, but fails them both off the board, another 130 points to Ish.
Oh, rubbish.
But I had a lot of that, getting used to the army, making sure, keeping things out of 6.
Yeah, putting
which
fire
is-
breaks in for the panic.
Yeah, which I think is another reason why I struggled with time on all my games.
Because you're checking everything.
Because you're measuring everything to such a degree, whereas you never would do that in 7th.
No, I mean, a lot of people said that. They were struggling for time because
Yeah.
everything was getting checked and double-checked. And
Not just
triple-checked.
checked, but you put your tape down and you think, right, if I move that to there and you put a dice down or a marker, and then you do the same thing for something else, and then you change your mind and you want to try and do something different, and I think it just adds more time to every turn, not just every turn, to every phase, which then adds on at the end. Like I say, all weekend, all 6 games, I never felt like I was playing slow. My opponents never said, "Oh, come on, we need to hurry up." But it always got down to right, half an hour to go. It's like, hang on, we're on turn 4.
Yeah.
But we were both what we thought was playing normally.
Yeah.
So
Easily done. I
Yeah.
noticed it a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was day 1.
Yes.
Overnight, the unexpected leader by a clear margin was Richard Lake.
yeah,
with his
3
Dark
wins,
Elves.
wasn't he? And the closest was what? There was Adam Hall and Bobo on
Yeah.
2 wins and a draw.
So, yeah, Adam and Bobo, 2 wins a draw. Then it was Ross, Nick, propping up the field, poor old Furnival, and then you.
Yay!
But I wasn't going well overnight. Only the 1 win on the Saturday, and
Me and Martin down there with 0 points.
had some work to do on the Sunday. So, what did you do Saturday night?
What did we do? We stayed about for a bit, didn't we? Had a beer and then
Yep.
went back to mine.
Yeah, went back
It
to
was
yours.
me, you, Guns, and Bob.
Had some
Had
food.
some pizza and played Perudo.
Right, yeah, Perudo. I love Perudo.
Perudo, I'm not really a fan of it, I've got to be honest. But then when you're tired and you've had some beer and you're playing it in porcelain mugs on a wooden table, the noise of it, oh, Lord.
Yeah, it was insane. So, anyway, that was Saturday of the Masters. We're going to have a short break. When we come back, we're going to cover the Sunday. Back to Basics and our proud sponsors of the Bad Dice Podcast. Based in Adelaide, Australia, they serve both the national and international gaming communities with quality resin products. If you visit www.backtobase-ix.com, you can view all their fantastic products, which includes resin bases, terrain, modular gaming tables, and even a wide variety of movement trays to suit all shapes and sizes for your 8th edition armies. The Back to Basics movement trays come in pretty much any size you could possibly need. If you find something that you want and it's not on their website, they'll even make it for you. The Back to Basics resin bases come in all different themes to suit any fantasy army. Designs include brick, cobblestone, desert, dirt, dungeon stone and forest, amongst many more. So if you like what you hear and fancy picking up some of the Back to Basics range, visit www.backtobase-ix.com. When you go to the checkout, insert the code BADDICE and you'll receive a 10% discount. That's www.backtobase-ix.com. Unseen Lurker is a new, exciting gaming magazine covering gaming, tactics, hobby, modelling, reviews, interviews, and even the occasional Zevra. Each issue has a quarter of the magazine available for download so you can try before you buy. It's the first independent global magazine encompassing articles from generals and hobbyists all over the world. Every issue of Unseen Lurker, that's Lurker with an E, is packed with giveaways such as custom dice, t-shirts, as well as the Game of the Month as reviewed by our Unseen Lurker test dummies. For more information, check out unseenlurker.com. Okay, so the Sunday morning of the Masters.
Yep.
An overnight leader is one Richard Lakin, flying.
Yeah, flying, wasn't he? Nice points.
The dark horse coming in from the outside.
Yeah.
And table 1 in the morning, he was playing Adam Hall, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Now, overnight, we had a chat with Adam, didn't we? Because we came back to yours, asked him how he fancied the matchups in that round and what he thought. And
He seemed not overly confident, but he certainly thought he had a chance, didn't he?
Yeah, he was happy in the fact that he thought unless the shooting goes off well, he shouldn't lose a bloodletter block, and he can get into him and chop him up.
Yeah,
and it's pretty much what happened. He got there in the end, didn't he? I think Richard powered all his shooting into dealing with Adam's big fiend unit.
Yeah,
and Adam got there with the bloodletters in the end and got enough points back
didn't he?
To get enough points back and take the win. So yeah, Adam was looking hot. He was going into round 5. He was ahead of everyone, wasn't he? Adam
he was.
He was doing quite well. So who did you play in round 4?
Wildman.
Yep. So
the
Folding Fortress.
I wound up, texted him and said, "Oh, it's me and you in the morning. Battle for the Pass." Oh yeah, great Empire Army, no problem. And it wasn't Battle for the Pass at all.
The scenario in the morning was Dawn Attack, wasn't it?
Yes, which is random deployment.
Did it hurt you much?
Not really. Mark made a bit of a fail. I can say that because I know he'll be listening. Well done, Mark. With his Folding Fortress, rather than putting it within swift reform and move of one of the sides, he put it bang in the middle of the board.
Yeah.
So we had to move for a turn and then get in. And to be honest with you, after deployment, I was really confident of smashing him. Like proper smashing him, because he'd also left his steam tank and cannon in line of the warp lightning cannon. Which again, well done, Mark. Impressive. And then the little bugger stole the initiative and went first.
Just ran straight at you.
So yeah, I was a bit on the back foot. And to be honest, I thought I was getting walloped. And he said that he'd had this in quite a few of his games, where the first couple of turns he's doing quite well, and then when they get there, he's got nothing. Yeah. And he all just gets beat up. The steam tank got pinned my second turn with giant rats and sensor bearers. That eventually went down when the Globadiers were wanging at him. And the blocks got there and did the damage, really.
So the steam tank, the Globadiers did the business against the steam tank then?
Yeah, well, also as well, the giant rats, sort of 15 attacks, 14 attacks from giant rats, 3 pack masters, a master molder, 3 sensor bearers.
It's a lot of dice, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, me and Michael Biggs were talking about it afterwards, and it's like it should be 36 attacks to a wound. But then added on to the fact that the Master Moulder's strength 5.
Yep.
Strength 6 even. Globadiers chucking the odd wound here and there. Eventually, it went down. I think it went down in the last turn, and that
Very timely.
Yeah, well, that and the War Ultra as well went down in the last turn, and that's what swung it to a good win to me.
Yeah, so you got 1,300 victory points to Mark's 720. So
Yeah.
decent amount of kills on
But
both
like
sides.
I say, a War Ultra, Archlector, and a Steam Tank in the last turn.
Yeah, it's like 700 points, isn't it? All
Yeah.
of a sudden, it's a draw.
Yeah,
Good stuff. So my game 4 was against Chris Legg, and we played the random deployment. It didn't really hurt either of us too much. Chris ended up with his Abomination off on one flank, but I don't think that was a bad thing for him, because if he'd have had it in the centre with all his army, all my shooting was there as well.
Yeah.
So it probably, where it started and came across, it was in a good position anyway. It didn't take long. It's like 4 turns, and it's touched the opposite corner of the board anyway.
Years, isn't it?
This game was mine for the taking, and I messed up at the end of the day. I charged
Who'd have thought?
both the Pegasus Riders and a Harpy unit into his slaves, chopped them up over a few rounds. I kept casting Doom and Darkness on his general, and the slaves still wouldn't break. Steadfast on like 5 and 6, and kept holding. Then I got a unit in the side, the crossbowmen, and broke them because took the Steadfast away.
Steadfast away, yeah.
And then I made the mistake of charging another clan map block with a wizard in. I thought 150 points for the wizard. I'm going to win the combat every round. I might break him with the Doom and Darkness on his general again, lowering his leadership.
So what did you charge them with? The Harpies, the Pegs, and the crossbows?
2 Pegasus Riders and a crossbow unit,
Okay.
all in the front. And he just kept holding again, and eventually he got his Storm Vermin into the combat and got both the Pegasus Riders. And it was really close in the end. Leggy won by, I think it was 108.5 victory points.
Oh.
And the 2 Pegasus Riders is 500 points.
Yeah.
So I should never have charged. My own fault. And the Hydra went down in like the last turn. The Abomination got it.
How many tests did he have to take before he got the Storm Vermin in on the Clan Rats?
I think it was 2, maybe 3. I think it was 2 tests on. I think it was the first one was a 7 with a reroll. The next one was a 6 with a reroll. Passed them both, and got in. He had plus 1 leadership banner on the Storm Vermin.
Yeah.
So that helped.
Yeah.
And that was that. I shouldn't have charged. They should have flown over the top and just caused him some problems. Kept shooting, and it'll be fine. So this is the game where I thought my death magic might be useful because there's low leadership on all these characters.
Yeah, with the new FAQ.
Yeah, I still didn't manage to kill any characters.
Nice.
But yeah, Leggy, I don't know. I thought I had it, and he snatched it with my idiocy in the last round. So win to Leggy there, and I slid further down the tables.
The steady climb to the bottom table.
Yeah, so going into round 5, there's only 5 people who are actually in the running still. So Adam Hall is first overall.
I'll tell you what, as well, there were 5 people that were all within 10 points of each other.
Yeah.
Which is quite close.
Adam Hall's in first place on 100 battle points, and he's got 2,012 victory points. Bobo, with his 4 unit vampire army, is in 100 battle points as well, so it's 3 wins and a draw. And he's on 1286, so he's nearly 800 points behind Adam.
So that's 1,200 victory points in 4 games.
Yeah. Richard Lakin was in third on 90 battles, so it's 3 wins and a loss of 5,000 victory points.
That's more
a massive
like
amount of points. Now, Adam's got the Bloodletter Demon Corn army, and he's not racking the points like you'd expect.
Well,
hey-ho.
I think with the system, I don't think people are pushing to do that.
No.
If I'm honest, I think the season an opportunity for you to get 300 or 400 points up and then pulling back.
Yeah.
Because, well, like you've just said there, you've charged them in and it's got you nowhere. In the end, you've lost you the game.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? If you're already up, why take any risk at all?
Yeah, exactly.
Which is why I don't think the system's too good.
No. So also in the running is Will Goodwin and Dan Heelan, both on 90 battle points and on 4,000 and 3,000 victory points respectively. So going into the round 5, so Richard's facing off against Bobo on table 1. Dan Heelan's playing his bestest buddy, old pal, Lusville. They were on table 2, I think they were, weren't they?
No, they were on 4, I think.
Oh, table 4. Adam Hall and Will Goodwin facing off. And Richard Lakin was facing off against, it's in front of me here somewhere. Oh, Sorry, I've already covered him. Yeah, Richard was facing Bobo. Yeah, table 1.
Dear. See what I have to put with, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm good. So this was the story of the tournament, wasn't it? Richard versus Bobo.
It was, yeah. It was a bit special.
So they're playing the meeting engagement. They've obviously rolled up for what's on and what's not. And Bobo's deployed first, hasn't he? And he's lined his whole army up.
Lines and lines and lines.
In one single line across the whole length of the table. So you get your diagonal down the middle. He's 6 inch back from that. He's got the Graveguard in the middle. 20 ghouls to the right, 45 ghouls, and 45 ghouls to the left. And then I think his Vampire Lord and his White King didn't turn up, did they?
No.
So it was Richard's turn to deploy. So he did pretty much the same. He
lined a Blackguard up opposite, didn't he?
Heavily on one flank to try and burst through one flank and then turn and face it all. Bobo got the first turn. Instead of charging the Blackguard with the Graveguard and smashing him before the Cauldron gets on him, he didn't bother. I think he tried to raise some ghouls, moved his characters into a second ghoul unit, and then it was Richard's turn 1. So Richards thought, bugger it, I'll go for it. Blackguard powered up with an extra attack into the Graveguard. The Pegasus rider flies over the top of the Graveguard and charges the ghouls that are behind him. And then Magic Face comes and he chucks 6/6 on Mind Razor to get the Blackguard Mind Razor. The Blackguard with Mind Razor kill all 45 Graveguard in one round of combat. Did they not do 40 wounds or something like that, wasn't it?
It was something daft. I mean, obviously 3 attacks each on 3s with a reroll.
60 attacks, yeah.
Killing on 2s.
Yep.
Yeah, it deletes stuff, doesn't it?
And then he overruns. So all the Graveguard go down in one go. He overruns into the ghoul unit. Now at this point, Bobo's like thinking, could be in with a chance here. Ghouls have got the regen banner, should be okay. And he'd heard Will Goodwin's Tale of Woe from earlier in the tournament, where Richard's
Flaming
Sword assisted Blackguard had gone through the regenerating Graveguard bunker in a single round.
Yeah.
So Bobo's thinking, fine, there's no Flaming Sword. He's not rolled it. There's no problem. This is when he whips out the
Banner of the Eternal Flame.
Banner of Eternal Flame on the Blackguard and takes out the regen and kills all the ghouls.
Best 10 points he's ever spent.
Pops the Vampire Lord, pops the White BSB, and basically it's game over, turn 1.
And also as well, Bobo's done a little report on like 15 minutes of one game.
Yeah.
His normal reports are of a whole tournament and go on forever. But he's just done a report on that one phase and one turn.
The best moment of his wargaming career, he says.
Yeah.
I do like how it's a career, like it's a job.
Doesn't do how else, does he, bless him?
So yeah, that was the talk of the tournament, basically. That one 15 minutes. So then Bobo and Richard were wandering around aimlessly for 2.5 hours until the next round started. But that certainly put Richard in the driving seat. He was in pole position going into round 6 after that.
Also as well, it helped his victory points out quite a lot, didn't it?
Adam Hall drew with Will Goodwin, and Russ Veal and Dan Nealon had a 0-0 draw after the scenario. Sort of basically half of Russ's army didn't turn up, so Russ put everything else right in the deepest corner.
Yeah.
And then Dan had the option of, if he wanted to run across towards it, Russ then had the choice of bringing all his reinforcements on behind Dan's army, and he didn't want to take that chance. So 0-0 draw. Who did you play round 5?
Biggles.
Yep. How did you go against that?
We put the Chosen in a line and I shit myself.
Did you 13th them?
No. No. I'm not sure how you deal with them.
13th.
Other than that. And when that's not working for you, you're kind of snookered, aren't you?
Yeah, they are a tough unit.
Yeah. To be honest, the Warriors are tough generally. I think for the Skaven, you just can't get past the armour with like anything.
No.
The Abomination did okay. I had one turn at the end where I could have got one of his warrior units. I had 12 dice Magic Phase. It's like 6 dice on Scorch, 6 dice on 13th. I'll do Scorch first because odds are I'll not cast 13th. 6/6, gets it off, loses 6 dice out of the pool. Kills one warrior with Scorch.
Yeah, it could have been the 4d6 warriors.
Yeah, awesome. Nice. So yeah, but I was determined not to go down with no points. So in the end, I think I got a War Shrine, a Wizard, and a Hell Cannon, and I basically gave because this was another game where we were quite short on time. Through a lot of shenanigans, reforming and sort of things, and measuring where stuff can go. It did show up quite a lot in that game. But yeah, but like turn 6 was right, these are going to die, these are going to die, these are going to die. Right, I might get some points for this. No, I didn't. Okay, done. Do you know what I mean? Because Biggs was going to win. There's nothing else.
Biggs got massive.
Oh, mate,
2,675 victory points.
And it was only a case of, right, can I get some more victory points that was going to make, do you know what I mean, make the only difference.
So my round 5 was against Andy Isherwood, and then meeting engagement, neither of our level 4s turned up.
Oh, nice. That's the point, actually, in that one. First dice roll, Grace here, not turning up.
Nice.
Second dice roll, BSB, not turning up.
Oh, lovely.
Later on, Cannon, not turning up. Ace.
Yeah, I ended up with quite a lot off. I think there was a Hydra, a level 4, a unit Harpies, unit Shades, unit Crossbowmen, and all Andy didn't get was his level 4.
It can really snooker you, can't it?
It can.
Because it affects your deployment so much as well.
Affects your first turn magic phase as well.
But you need to make sure that you're...
got room to bring
them on, yeah.
Well, I thought I'm already out of the running massively, so we'll just go for it. So my level 4 came on right on the left-hand flank, because the diagonal was going from my left at the short edge, all the way to opening out to the long edge on my right. So I brought my level 4 on the left where it was an hour bit, with all my Shades and Crossbowmen and a Hydra. Got first turn, so both the Hydras ran in front of them, big Marauder blocks. Level 4 just goes, right, I'm going to blast all my magic, it's going to run solo, blast all my magic at the Hell Cannon, and just see how we get on. One Spirit Leech, gone, dead. So this is Leadership 9 versus Leadership 9, because of the FAQ says you use the leadership of the highest in the unit. So it's D6 each, I roll a 6, he rolls a 1.
Yeah.
And he doesn't deflect any of them to the crew. 5s to hit the crew, and the Hellcannon's gone. And Andy wasn't impressed. I thought it was brilliant. I laughed and laughed and laughed. And he looks at me, I was like, you got to laugh, dude. Come on. And he's like, fair enough. So then the shooting started, and it was pretty horrendous. It was literally, I must have fired 400 shots into the Chosen over the course of the game, and I think I killed 2.
But sounds about right.
I did kill everything else. Andy reacted to the Hell Cannon going down by charging both Marauder blocks into each Hydra.
Yeah.
End of his turn, he goes, I've made 2 big mistakes. And I was like, what? Charging the 2 Hydras? And he's like, no, just some positioning. And then the Hydras munched through the 40 Marauders.
Did they?
Yeah, well, there was Slash. They weren't Khorne.
Still a lot of strength 5 because of flails, weren't they?
Yeah, but it's only strength 5. It's forced to wound. You're only getting, 12 attacks?
I suppose, yeah.
4s to hit.
Yeah, I suppose.
6 hits.
It's 3 wounds, isn't it?
3 wounds, armor save and regen.
Yeah, I suppose.
And the Hydra kills 14 with his stomp breath weapon. Because I go before he had great weapons on him, so I go before the
I thought he had flails.
Great weapons.
Oh, right.
So I go before the great weapons with the breath. So the breath saves at strength 5.
Yeah.
I used them both in the first turn because I thought, if he does do a few wounds, my breath strength's going down. So I use it while it's strength 5.
Yeah,
I just killed rakes of them. And then the next round, I broke them both. Because they were miles from the BSB as well, so they weren't steadfast. I'm sorry, weren't re-rolling.
Weren't re-rolling. Oh, fair enough.
Broke them both pretty quick. I made a mistake. Didn't move my BSB. I had that many units. I must have had 15 different units everywhere. And I was like, everything's move. This is going to shoot there, this is going to shoot there. Magic's going to go over here. Dun. Right, okay, magic. Zap over here, and fucking hell, my BSB's over there, right in front of this warrior block. It's like, whatever. I'll run away. And then I rolled 3 on the flea, and he caught me. And so that was the BSB down. And then the Hydra and Pegasus Rider charged his warrior block, and I killed his level 4 in the end, but I lost both of them, I think. So that was all I lost, both Pegasus, the Hydra, and I got pretty much everything in his army except the except the Chosen and the Tzeentch level 2. This Tzeentch level 2, I cast Spirit Leech and Caress on. Must have had 7 spells got through on him over the course of the game. No wounds whatsoever.
Tzeentch has obviously got a plan for him.
Tzeentch had a plan. He had a forward ward against the magic, so still got to go some, but no wounds. It was just insane. Couldn't believe it. So that was my round 5. I got a win, so I was quite happy. It was 2 wins over 5 games. Quite chuffed with myself.
I only had 1 win.
So going into game 6, I was playing against Mark Wildman with his Empire.
Yeah.
And again, it was Battle for the Past, so I'm thinking, what a nightmare. So who did you play in the last one?
Martin Furnival.
And how did you get on?
Bottom table retard fight.
Oh, no, you were playing for last place.
Playing for last place, yeah.
Or Martin would have had to hammer you to not be last, wouldn't he? Because Martin hadn't won. You'd won one, Martin hadn't
I
won.
thought Martin had won one.
No wins.
Oh, right, okay. I can't remember. But yeah, I think if Martin had won, it would have been down to VPs or something like that. But in the end, it was a draw. Made a right cock up. I did. That was awesome. Thought I'd been really clever here because I knew he had double siren song, and I'm stopping the clan rat units from getting pulled around with the weapons teams. Found a use for them. Finally, brilliant. And then I didn't do it with the slave unit with the Grey Seer in when he stood next to sensor bearers. I could have just put one sensor bearer in front of them, and I didn't. So siren song on the sensor bearers on the Grey Seer. Arse, got to run away, aren't I? So he went running.
You're a legend.
Oh mate, what a plonker. Abomination went into the Demonettes. He did a load of wounds to it, and it survived for 2 rounds of combat and 1 wound. I just regen the shit out of it.
Nice.
I did the Adam Hall skills.
I used to love it when my Hadja did that.
Oh mate, it was ridiculous. I say I felt bad. I didn't want to be last.
Was you laughing? A little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. And then it was basically came down to the Abomination pinned them. He didn't really want to commit his horrors, or didn't seem to want to. He just wanted to sit there and blast them. The Flamers sort of skirted about, not really doing a lot. And I shot everything and magicked everything I could at his 45. Was it Bloodletters with a Herald in or something like that?
It was 40, I think.
40. 39 with a Herald.
39 and a Herald.
Yeah. They went into combat with slaves, shot a load. Then they ended up in combat with the sensor bearers. And it came down to he had 2 Bloodletters and a Herald on a wound left. And he'd attacked, he'd done nothing. His Herald had killed 1 or 2. His Bloodletters had done nothing. So I was winning the combat by 2 already with my ranks. I did 4 wounds. He saved them all and double won his pop test.
Oh.
In the last act of the Masters.
Saved 700 points.
And saved 700 points, yeah. So it was a draw. I think Martin was up by 13 or 14 points or something like that.
And
so yeah.
So my last game against Mark, Battle for the Pass, again, it goes the same attitude I did against Isherwood, was like, let's just run at it, see what happens. And so I lined everything up on my 24-inch line, and all the crossbowmen, everything ready to run, and that's what I did, basically. The Pegasus Riders were just golden. You just couldn't kill them.
No.
He did a Strength 8 banishment on my BSB with the Cloak of Hagreath, and I was like, yeah, I'm saving on 2s. He was like, why?
Is that the one that drops it, halves it?
Halves it, so it's Strength 4, and I've got a 1-up with a reroll.
Oh.
So he did nothing. He's like, it's fine, I know what the other one's got now. I'll shoot the other one. He's like, pendant. He's like, so you've got no ward save on your level 4? It's like, no. And she's on a horse. I could have been shooting her with cannons all game. It's like, yeah, that's why it's all running at you. And he's like, right. And then he starts trying to shoot the level 4. I made 1 ward save from a cannon, and then he didn't really get much else chance of shooting at her.
Right.
I think he had something like 18 handgunners shooting at her, but I was at long range crossbows, yeah, long range in the forest, and so she survived that. But yeah, it's a good game. It's kind of crazy. It could have gone right down to the wire. It could have gone either way. I managed to get my Hydra into the building and just went in, killed like most of the crossbows, and then when I came out, he didn't shoot at me. Shot on my level 4 that turn. So I charged the Hydra back in, killed most of the other crossbows. And obviously, because the handlers go first, killed a load. Then his characters have to step forward to fight.
I don't think they do.
Do they not?
No, I think you nominate at the start, have these 10 guys, and that's your lot.
Oh, maybe we played that wrong then.
Yeah, I think.
Oh, we thought he had to step forward to fight, so then the Hydra got to kill one of the wizards.
No, I don't think so.
And next turn when I charged... No, next turn he stepped out of the building, but stepping out of the building took all his BSB and his general away from his halberdiers and that behind the building.
Yeah.
So my 2 Pegasus Riders were double teaming all his... I got his knights with 1 Pegasus Rider in the back, got the knights. I got his detachment of halberdiers with combo with both Pegasus Riders and broke them. So I racked up quite a lot of points. In the end, I think it was a decent size. I've got the points here. Yeah, I got... I can't find it. Oh, I've not got the points here. I got a fair few points. It was quite a big difference in the end.
Yeah.
But early on, I was getting pasted. And the Steam Tank, I just had to keep throwing units out. Steam Tank took about 1,000 points. I didn't roll Purple Sun.
You're always going to struggle with that,
Didn't roll
aren't you?
Purple Sun, and obviously my other wizard was Fire, so it wasn't doing
No.
much. And yeah, but it's a good game, good fun. I think Mark felt a bit hard done by because the Pegasus Riders did so much damage and shooting seemed to do so little. But I don't know, he spent a lot of time shooting stuff that wasn't going to die with cannons and magic.
It's kind of all it's got, though, isn't it? I
Yeah.
mean, we said that before, didn't we, about it being quite a one-dimensional army. And I also noticed as well, he's dumped the Empire, hasn't he, for Sheffield?
Oh, as he using his Beastman
He's
again.
using Beastman, yeah. So I don't know whether he's a bit bored of it or what, but
Fair enough. So, up at the top, rather than down in the doldrums where we were,
yeah.
Richard Lakin was leading on 120 battle points, and he was basically playing for first place. If he won his game, he won the tournament,
Yeah.
no questions. If he drew, it was down to other results, but still, Adam, Will, Dan, and Bobo all were in with a shout. Adam was 110, and the other three were all on 100. So Dan was playing Adam and managed to get up on him, down to the fact that he put a load of firepower into some bloodletters on the last turn and managed to finish off the whole unit.
I think Adam said he killed, was it 9 bloodletters with 20 skinks
Yeah.
and a salamander?
But I think what the thing Adam didn't realise was that was turn 4 and the end of the game because of time. Whereas 2 more turns and
Oh,
Adam would have
right.
lost a
Oh,
load
okay.
more. Dan was up in that one quite some way.
Right.
So Will Goodwin played Bobo and actually beat him in the Vampire off. Bobo with his Super Death Star army, and Will just got on top of him and managed to get the better of him. But on first, all them two wins were sort of needless because Richard came up with the goods against Nick Pitt and absolutely hammered him from what I saw.
Yeah, I think he did, didn't he?
And took out the Masters in style. So congratulations, first place.
I mean, it was
Richard
a
Lakin.
bit strange the way that it worked in the end, wasn't it? Because it was Nick. Nick was about 6th or 7th.
Yeah, I think Nick, playing on table 1, thought he was in with a shout.
Yeah.
But Richard had already played everyone else around the top.
Yeah. With such a small field and not wanting people to duplicate it, the spreadsheet did throw up a few odd ones. But I think it's probably the best way of doing it because top 16 in the country over the last year, it shouldn't really matter who you play.
No,
Not
of course it
really.
doesn't. So yeah, Richard first place. Will Goodwin snatched second, beating Bobo in the last round, and Dan Heelan in third. Adam Hall, the bridesmaid, 4th place. Michael Biggs sneaking into 5th. Then Russ Veal in 6th. Bobo in 7th. Nick Pym in 8th. Myself in 9th. Keith Wilkinson 10th, Andrew Isherwood 11th, Chris
Still not got to me.
12th, Mark Wideman 13th, Singe Frost 14th, you in 15th, and
not last.
Wooden Spoon, Martin Furnival taking my place from last year, 16th. So congratulations to everyone who attended. They are actually, as cliched as it is, they are actually all winners for
Yes.
making it.
And we've broke the bad dice hoodoo.
Yeah, and I think Richard taking first place was unexpected, but I think it's a really good thing.
Again, it seems to be a bit of a trend, doesn't it? Someone from Bad Dice is normally last, and an unexpected person wins. We had Martin Bunting first year, Keith last year, and Richard this time around. No one fancied any of them really.
No.
And they've all come up with the goods. So yeah, well done, Richard.
So quick thanks to, I'm sure we've already said this earlier in the show, but thanks to everyone who attended. Thanks to everyone that helped out running it.
Thanks to
Maelstrom and Andrew, Luke and Rob Downey.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And, we'll see you next year at the Masters. Okay, so we're going to go for another short break, and then when we come back, we'll wrap up the show.
Hey dudes, just want to take a minute to tell you about the next big thing in wargaming. Rankings HQ is the new home for not only rankings across all game systems, but the latest social networking site for gamers around the world, including articles, image galleries, and heaps more. Create an account, track your personal progress, and compare results amongst friends and other gamers worldwide. Think you're the best gamer in town? Prove it at rankingshq.com. Join today.
Okay, so that's another show, sort of done and dusted. Another year of the Masters down.
Yeah.
Next year we're looking at changing the format a bit, maybe not. We'll have an announcement out soon, hopefully.
Certainly one thing that I think we will do is a bigger side event and a more earlier advert for us.
Yeah, well, I want to get it announced by sort of March, April.
Yeah.
Ready for next year, and then people can buy tickets as and when.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, what else you want to add before we sign off? I think one thing we do need to talk about is the Southwest GT, don't we?
Yeah, well, it went on sale last night, and he sold 150 tickets in 40 minutes.
Yeah, which is just spectacular.
It's quite impressive, and they say that Warhammer is dead.
So anyone that wants to know more details about this, the tournament's on the 16th and 17th of April. It's £30 a head, 2,400 points, 6 games, some random comp here and there. Nothing too...
The comp is 12 dice in a phase. There's a couple of rares that ban, like you can't have double abomination, double cannons, that's double warp landing cannons,
Double
that's
Hydra?
sort of double Hydra, I think.
Oh.
Double tree man. Everyone hates the tree men. Bless them. I think no unit can be more than 400 points, if I remember rightly. They're all battle lines. The terrain's quite interesting. You've got to bring 4 pieces of terrain, 3 sort of generic, and 1 that can be you have to make, basically. So if you want to bring an Idol of Gork, make it look like an Idol of Gork, and you can use it in the game as an Idol of Gork.
Yeah.
Which is, I'm sure, was something we spoke about on the podcast.
Yeah, I think we did a while ago.
And I think it's a fantastic idea.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, if you want to
really
hear
good.
more about it, the best place to go to is Healing Hammer.
Absolutely.
I imagine the latest episode is going to be full of stuff about this sort of thing, because it's them guys that are running the tournament. If you do want a ticket, they are, I imagine they were sold out by the time you hear this, but they are taking a paid reserve list.
Yes.
And last year, I think about 30 of the reserves, they sold nearly 200 tickets last year, including dropouts.
Yeah.
So you buy a ticket, as long as you're in sort of like the top 30, you're bound to get on through as a
Good
reserve.
chance of getting in, yeah.
Yeah, so, have a look on the Warhammer forum, just look for the South Coast GT tickets, and you'll see all the details there. So, Sheffield of the weekend.
Yeah, Sheffield at the weekend. I've been grudged
By
Rob Allam.
Rob Hallam,
Yeah,
the Dragon Slayer.
yeah. I think I know who he is, but I'm not entirely sure.
Okay, why is he grudged, as you
I
said?
don't know.
Okay, and you've accepted.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
He says, I want to grudge the famous Ben Johnson. So I says, do you mean me or do you mean the other one? Apparently means me, so yeah.
Nice.
Scaving off.
Okay. I know Rob. I've spoke to him a few times.
I think I know who he is, but
Yeah,
I'm not
sure you do.
100%.
I'm sure you do. So, good stuff. I've not been grudged. I'm sure no one wants to play me in case I bring filth.
Yeah.
My army's quite fluffy. With a 40 Blackguard, 30 Corsairs, Shadow Magic, not many shades, 12 shades.
My army's
Some
rubbish.
crossbows, a Hydra. Nice combat army with a bit of shooting support.
Yeah.
I think I should have... I've got a level 4 and a level 2 on both on Shadow, which in theory I think is going to go well, but I can't help thinking I should have took Fire Wizard. Every tournament I've used my Fire Magic in, I think it's been really good.
Yeah.
Best thing I've used. And then I keep moving away from it, and I don't know why.
I think a level 2 on fire is golden.
Yeah, I know.
I really do.
I know, and I keep... even the level 4 on Fire was fantastic.
Yeah.
But I think I need the level... The C18 Fireball, 3d6 Fireball at 48 inches, it's just phenomenal.
Yeah, from a world away.
Yeah, so I don't know why I keep doing it to myself, but I just want to try different things, that's all.
I should have changed my list, but when they needed to send it in, I was a bit concerned about what I'd get painted. And as it happened, I sent the same list in as I took to the Masters, and I got all that done with time to spare, really. Not a lot of time to spare.
So you could have got more done if you
So I
wanted.
could have done some more and changed it back a bit. What I really fancy using is a catapult.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Just something different.
Yeah, I quite fancy building one more than anything.
Okay.
And I figure if I'm going to build it, I might as well use it.
Yeah, of course.
So
Okay, so that's Sheffield. We're going to have a report from there. We're not recording at the event, I don't think. So we're just going to do a show on it when we come back. Might even be a Snake Eyes one.
Yeah.
We'll see how we get on. Other than that, I think that's it for another episode. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.
see you later, guys.
The preceding podcast was brought to you by Ben and Ben Productions. If you actually enjoyed the show and feel the need to tell other people about it, you can leave a positive review on iTunes. You can contact both your hosts at thebens@baddice.co.uk, or you can contact us individually on Ben Curry at baddice.co.uk or Ben Johnson at baddice.co.uk. So thanks for listening, and we'll see you on the next episode of the Bad Dice Podcast.